This is the audio recording for the Government of India. It will be pretty much a straight read, so let's get into it. Next slide. Background. Great Britain colonized and ruled India from the 1600s until the mid-1900s. In 1947, India gained its independence from Great Britain and a parliamentary democracy was put into place. Today, there are still influences of European colonization in India's government. Next slide. Leadership. The Prime Minister is the chief executive of the national government that holds the most political power. The President is the head of state who performs mostly ceremonial duties and holds little political power. Next slide. This is a picture of Prime Minister Modi, who is India's current Prime Minister. This is a picture of President Kovind, who is India's current president. Next slide. How leaders are chosen. The Prime Minister is elected by members in Parliament from the majority party. Citizens elect members of the Parliament, and then the members vote for Prime Minister. The President is elected by an electoral college consisting of elected members of Parliament and the legislatures of the states. Next slide. Legislature. India's bicameral legislature is called the Sansad, which means parliament. Bicameral, by the way, means two houses. The two houses are called the Council of States and the House of the People. Membership in the Council of States is chosen by assemblies in India's states. Indians age 18 and older elect all but two members of the House of the People. The President appoints the final two members. Next slide. This is a picture of the outside of the Sansad Bhavan, which is the Parliament building. Next slide. This is inside of one of the two houses of their legislature, which is the House of the People. Next slide. Parliamentary democracy. In India's parliamentary democracy, citizens elect members to the House of the People. The members of Parliament then elect a leader from the majority party in the Sansad. The Prime Minister works with or through the legislature. Next slide. Role of citizens. The Indian Constitution of 1950 granted many rights and personal freedoms to Indian citizens. India's Constitution also guarantees equality for women. All Indians over the age of 18 are guaranteed the right to vote. Next slide. Indians also have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, and many other freedoms similar to those in the U.S. and European democracies. They are also given the right to conserve their language and culture. Next slide. It's a picture of some voting lines in Delhi. Notice how long they are. People really get out and vote in some of these other countries. We need to do a better job of that here. Next slide. Struggles. In India, there are some discrimination complaints that arise from traditional practices. Elements of India's former caste system still remain in some parts of the country, and the way of life for untouchable workers is still very difficult.